kind of the usual thing for Pathfinders. You zip around Golarion from one venture captain to another, sent on dangerous, interesting, fun, or outright just reckless missions for them. And this time, you've been summoned by one of the more unorthodox venture captains, Captain Calizro Benari, who's not only a venture captain, but also the captain of her own ship, the Glorious Payoff, which kind of functions as a Pathfinder Grand Lodge as well. You've made your way down onto the southern continent of Garund, and you find her on board of her ship just off the Garundi coast. As a splash of salt crashes over the bow of the Glorious Payoff, Calizro Benari deftly steers her ship through a hidden channel, carefully navigating through the barely visible rock and coral that protrude slightly from the water's surface. Behind the Payoff, a slightly smaller ship, the Sea Sparkle, follows, making every effort to follow Benari's course as closely as possible. Off the port hull, the deep green of the Garundi coast is illuminated by the late afternoon sun. "See those gulls?" Benari shouts over the flapping of the sails. "That's the sandbar we'll be dropping you off at. Barely sticks up over the waves, but the seabirds flock over it to feast on crab. As I explained earlier, Vidrian, you might have known it as Sargava not that long ago, needs explorers to chart the trade routes to the south that they couldn't use back when it was ruled by Cheliax. Simple enough, bit of adventuring, but the new nation's been having trouble with the free captains of late. Turns out when Vidrian broke free of Cheliax, the locals stopped paying the pirates protection money, and now they are the #1 plunder target in their shackles. What's more, the pirates have set up a blockade, preventing our ships from making it down to Vidrian to assist. Thankfully, we've got someone on the inside. Stella Thane, a free captain with ties to the Firebrands and the Pirate Council, had been in contact with the Society. She and members of the Society's leadership have put together a fairly clever plan to help the Society's ships pass through the pirate blockades unharmed. The wind and the waves willing, the Payoff and the Sparkle can sail to Vidrian, no problem. While we're doing that, I've arranged to transport for you to Port Peril to meet with Fane and get her to sign this contract, making the whole thing official. She may be a pirate, but she's the kind that holds to her word. You'll need to avoid drawing too much attention until after the deal is done. Once she's signed the contract, her friends in the Pirate Council will ratify it, and there won't be much the lesser captains can do. Be careful. Anyone looking to put a stop to this need only ensure that contract never gets signed." Then she turns towards steering the ship again as she kind of zigzags around the various obstacles. But you would have a few minutes for questions if there are any.
But Captain, I understand that signing the contract would be very, very nice for the lodge, but what would stop the captains of the shackles of just torturing it along with your free captain ally?
Nothing! Isn't that the fun part?
Well, yeah, I guess that would be.
That's the best we can do. It's a long-term trade agreement. We tell her where we've had reports of slavers. She hates them, and it's no skin off Society members' backs to let her know. And she approaches us first with any information that she receives regarding archaeological sites and historical discoveries. Our obligation requires us to make the information exchange each time one of our ships passes through the shackles. So attacking a Pathfinder ship is the same as attacking Stella and her allies on the Pirate Council. Smartest deal we've made, if you ask me. And careful with that contract, by the way. It's all magicked shut, so only Fane can read and sign it. Alright, if you have any more questions, you better spit them out before we're hitting the sandbar over there.
Where exactly can we find Fane?
That's the thing. I believe you will just have to ask your contact who's going to pick you up at the sandbar.
Ah,
On,
copy.
here we come. All right, everybody get to the railing and jump.
Alrighty.
And
Nashka
Mhm.
deftly dives right over the railing. Swims
Alright.
like she was born in the water.
Nice.
Alright, Elfman will hold his head close to his head and will try to jump as well.
Okay. Kyra and Mauricio?
Well, Marissa will do a nice flip,
Mm-hmm.
but Kyra is scratching her head.
Well, if she's
But-
going to wait for too long, she's going to miss her opportunity.
Yeah. She does not see rope dangling on the side or anything that she can
Yeah.
rappel down.
Yeah.
Well,
But the
she's just
water
going
does
to.
look pretty calm.
Well, she'll try not to flop too hard.
Okay. Of course, she still makes a big splash when she hits the water, getting a chuckle out of Maurizio. But yeah, you're to the lee of the sandbar, and the water is calm enough, so she doesn't have much of a problem. And all of you make it to the sand bank, the sandbar. The tide comes in as you're standing there waiting, and eventually you're already standing in a few inches of water right there in the middle of the ocean. And it's making you a tiny little bit nervous that maybe this whole thing was just a big trick. And indeed it was. End of scenario.
Oh well, that was the fun adventure, guys. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but
Glad we
about
got together.
but about an hour later, a small boat appears, and it is sailed by an elderly diver, probably a female dwarf. The woman beckons you aboard, shifts around some sacks of shellfish and crab traps to make room in her cramped vessel. And she says, "Oh, welcome, boss. Come on, sit in. My name is Hilar, and I was told to pick you up here."
Ah, wonderful to make your acquaintance. Elfman will already dried his hair from the salt, and he tried to climb into her boat and not tipped over.
All right.
What was her name again?
Hlar, Hlar.
She's a human?
Dwarf.
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 Oh, sorry, a dwarf. Okay.
Female dwarf.
Yeah, Nashka will. She'll maybe swim alongside the boat for a little bit, just to stretch out.
Okay. And everybody can give me a perception check.
Mm-hmm. Perception. Perceive. Yes.
20, 23.
That's right. It's not with the other skills on this sheet.
Yeah, because it's not technically a skill, I think.
It's now your innate property.
Okay, so Nashka, as you move towards the boat, you hit something with your toe that at first it felt like maybe a piece of driftwood, but it has a pretty sharp corner. And you look down, and in the foaming water, you spot the protruding corner of a wooden crate that sticks out from the sand.
Yeah, we're gonna dig that up, pull that out. She'll point it out to the others.
Wow, what you have there, Nashka?
Treasure already.
Why this mission is getting better and better?
Wait, Hilar says. You guys just wait out here in the middle of the ocean and you just hit your foot on some treasure?
I don't know where. As you know, we are incredibly lucky pathfinders, and getting here with no trouble to begin with. So I can
Well,
see.
maybe Fate is right about you.
Yeah, can see why the fates would be turning away from us. Let's see what's
Well,
inside. Yeah.
yeah, let's open it before we start
Yeah,
bragging.
you dislodge the crate from the muddy sand, and it is closed, shut, kind of warped. You would have to force it open.
Let's see what we can do.
That would be an athletics check if you want to try that.
I do not have athletics.
Nashka cracks her big scaly knuckles and gives it a go.
Nope, it's really warped,
Rusted
Must have-
hinges.
sitting here for a while.
Pum, pum, pum. How does aid another work?
I don't think that exists anymore. Oh, right. No, wait. 8 does exist. Take 10.
It's a reaction.
Give me a second. I'm looking up.
Okay, I have the
Actions,
rule.
aid. An ally is about to use an action that requires a skill check. The ally is willing to accept your help. You try the ally with a task. You must first prepare to help. You must explain to when you use your aid. Attempt a skill check. Typical DC is 20. Yeah. So you want to help? So you can try the same athletics check to add a +2.
Okay, so well,
One, sorry.
both Meriziel and Kyra are going to try.
Mm-hmm.
Athletics.
Well, you should have just done it.
Do they both have the same modifier?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, Nashka gets in there. I don't know. Do you have any sort of lever you're using, or are you just muscling it open?
She's just going at it with her claws, but I don't know about everyone else.
Well,
Okay, so
Kyra would probably use her scimitar as a lever of sort.
Okay, so Nashka goes in there with her claws, trying to get them in the little gap between the lid and the rest of the chest, but can't quite get in there. So Kyra sticks her scimitar in, and together with Merisil, they wedge it open just a tiny little bit for Nashka to get her claws in, and then she rips the lid off the chest and almost shatters the contents, which are a couple of bottles. There's a flask of something that is called Lesser Bravo's Brew. It is an alchemical consumable that, when imbibed, gives you a +1 on will saves or +2 against fear for the next hour. And it is pretty foaming beer. And what was the today? Richard? And the another bottle in there is looks like a bottle of rum stamped with a stylized dragon turtle. If anybody has alcohol lore,
I'm sure someone in this boat might have alcohol lore. Maybe we should ask our contact.
she does not, unfortunately. I wonder, can you try a recall knowledge untrained?
Can we call Alejandro for this?
You can actually recall knowledge untrained, so you can roll it with just your intelligence modifier.
What did you say the stamp was on it? The seal?
A dragon turtle.
Ooh.
Stylized dragon turtle. 14, 4, 17. Oh, that's interesting. I wonder how, but Kyra knows what it is. It's a rather high-end liquor called Southern Squall, a rare kind of rum. Yeah, and there are a couple of more bottles in there, but they're dirty and cracked, and whatever was in them has seeped out and has been washed out by seawater.
Well, I guess that would be something to celebrate later.
That was called what again? The rum.
It is called Southern Squall.
Got it.
All right, looks like you found somebody's stash, Halar says. Okay, the winds are about to die down, so everybody hop on and let's get to port.
Oh, let's go.
You hop into her little boat, and she starts sailing her boat over the next few hours, actually. It's going to take quite some time to make your way to Port Peril. And she's using a meandering path to shore, always keeping an eye on the submerged rock formations. Every now and then she jumps overboard and free dives for several minutes before she reemerges with an oyster, a sea urchin, or a squid that she just kind of dumps into your lap, as if you're waiting for her to help her. Yeah, after a couple of those dives, the wind indeed dies down along the way, and she instead rows the boat, passing one of the other oars to Nashka, and says, "Well, since Benary made me come out of my way to get you, the least you can do is help us all get to shore."
No problem. No problem.
All right, and with the instructions by Halar, Nashka helps rowing the boat, and finally around sunset you make it to Port Peril. As you drift into the Crescent Harbor, sailors disembarking for shore remain clearly visible, singing rowdily as they work. Halar soon lands at a smaller dock to unload her catch, and gestures at a ship in one of the docks. You see the name Risen Albatross on it. She says, "That's Fane's. She's got a penchant for riotous nights on the town once she's returned to port. So, I guess she's probably around here. Yeah, I don't know where the kids go these days, though. I guess the harbor master would probably have a better idea where he saw Fane head after a ship docked and unloaded. Just go and look for that bald bastard. His name is Siomin Crederus."
Of course it is.
Somin. Well, I'm a sorcerer. I will be able to pronounce this. Master Cradus. Yes. Dock Master Cradus.
Anything you can tell us about Sjorman?
Yeah, he's a bastard. He's probably going to try to get some gold out of you for that piece of information.
And what about Fane? What do you know of this pirate?
Fane? Well, she's crazy, is all I can tell you. It's a rowdy one, for sure. But, she's reliable for a pirate.
Alrighty, I guess it will be time for a nightly chase after in a Port Peril. Then I can already feel this adventurous spirit taking me over. Yeah, Elfman rubs his hands together and causing sparks to to fly out.
Okay, Halar says, but why don't you give me that bucket of oysters before it takes you over entirely?
Elfman stares into the ether for a moment, of course, a bucket of oysters coming. Here we go. Now, to the adventurous spirit.
All right. So, assuming that you make your way out of the boat and looking for the harbor master.
Yeah, look around.
Right. Yeah, she gives you a description. Halar tells you to look for a bald guy with a devilish smile, a kind of mischievous grin on his face, clutching a ledger of some sort that he's taking notes in all the time. And indeed, you find him close by, a balding, bureaucrat kind of looking person. And he's always checking off things on his ledger, even while he's talking to you. He's like scribbling down notes and checking things off. And when you hail him, he half turns around, raises an eyebrow, and he says, "Yes? What do you want? Do you have something to what's it called? To declare?"
Got this rum and this beer.
Oh, look at that. Fine bottle of Southern Squall.
And then Nashka kind of casually slips them back into her bag, but let's maybe just the top of it hang out a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, his eyes linger before he looks Nashka in the face, and he says, "But I don't deal with small fry like that. So what's in your hold?"
Nashka kind of chuckles because she's over 7 feet tall and laughs at the idea of being called small fry, or however tall she is. I don't know. She probably towers over him.
But he was referring to an individual bottle being declared.
Yeah, no, I know, but she.
Okay.
Large enough to have a hold of her own, huh?
Yeah.
Well, Elfman will also chuckle and say, "Well, nothing. We actually are just passengers. So unless we have to declare ourselves as a cargo, we are here just to talk."
I don't have time to talk. I have lots of business to attend to. You see all those ships? And he gestures to some of the ships that have docked. I need to get to each and every one of them and take their cargo into my lists.
We won't take long. We absolutely won't take long. We just need a direction where the Fane left.
Fane? You're looking for Fane, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I certainly cleared her boat earlier tonight, but I have a hard time remembering seeing her after that. And his eyes wander to the bottle.
And and Elfman tries to put himself between Nishka and Harbor Master to focus his attention. Well, now, at least maybe you can remember if she stayed on her ship or wanders about.
Do you want to try a diplomacy check so we can see where this conversation is going to go?
In diplomacy, I have a trained skill.
Nice.
So
Elfman kind of moves between blocks the bottle from his sight, and he makes eye contact instead, and he says, "What's that? So you want to know where she went? Is that what you're saying?"
Well, yeah, basically, is she on her ship or she wanders on the shore?
She's not on the ship, but why should I tell you?
I mean, come on, we are friends here. We absolutely have nothing to lose, and in fact, the next time we come past, we might share some of this very nice wine with you.
Do you want to know how many times I heard somebody promise loot and plunder next time they dock in Port Peril?
Yeah,
Do you want to know how many of them sleeping the long sleep at the bottom of the ocean?
None of them, because they were all very nice people and were truthful to you?
He cackles, showing a gold tooth. in the corner of his mouth, and he says, "You're so green behind the ears. It almost hurts to. Well, I don't have time to dilly dally with you lot. I saw walk over towards last catch. And he kind of gestures towards an islet in the Crescent Harbor. He says, "It's a tavern out there. She got on a dinghy and made her way over. I'm just look for the loudest person in the whole joint, and you'll find her." All right. Now let me go through. I haven't went on word line, and he kind of makes his way past you.
Yep. Okay. See, he was a nice man.
Bye, gentlemen.
Well, that kind of went well.
Have a nice day.
I gotta say, Elfman, you got a way of talking to people.
Oh, that is my bread and butter when I was growing up. You can never go go wrong with a very good flattery and
Ben?
Hello?
Oh, I thought that sentence wasn't over yet.
No,
You
he
can-
just stopped.
Oh, he's so good with words.
Yes.
He knows
All right.
precisely when to end. Leave you
All right.
wanting more.
Exactly. Yes.
All right.
That's
So
Was this last catch?
yeah.
exactly, turning around towards the harbor where the harbor master had pointed you, you can clearly see that one of the docks leads out to a small islet, and you walk down the dock until you find yourselves at an open-air tavern with a large open space facing the sea. Several fishing boats have docked directly at the restaurant, unloading both ingredients and customers. Many of the patrons appear to be amphibious or otherwise from aquatic ancestries, and a few enjoy their drinks while bobbing up and down in the water off the pier. In a corner, a lady, which can only be Stella Fane, according to the description you got from your adventure captain, polishes off an absolutely massive plate of what looks to be fried octopus.
Very nice.
I have
very,
a
very
picture
nice.
of her for you.
Do you have a picture of the octopus?
Unfortunately not. But just Google Cthulhu and there she is. Did she pop up on your screen?
Not yet.
No.
Let's give
No?
it a solid 30 seconds.
Did it work now?
Nope.
Nope.
No. Why not? It
It's
should.
still Shift Z, I believe.
No, it's a handout, so it should just pop up. On
Oh,
your
it's a
screen.
handout.
I'm saying show to players, so it should pop up on your screen.
Nope.
Show to players, show to players, show to players.
Maybe you already shown it to players.
I don't think that makes a difference. I will just show it to players now. Maybe you have to have.
There we
Okay.
go. It's just
There
popped
we go.
up.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, that's a dangerous-looking gal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Looks
So.
Yeah.
bored.
Very many pointy things on her.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Yeah. So, how do you approach her?
Nishka, give me that brandy, the rum, I mean. And
She kind of growls a little, but then hands it over.
I mean, we need to make an approach. And well, an elfman will make an approach. Here.
He's making an approach.
Yes.
Watch how he does this, Kyra.
Well, he will come up to her and sit beside and say, "Oh, why, good evening, Captain." So, uh,
Ah! She says as you come close and she spots you. Oh, you're just in time. Like little baby cleaner fish, not knowing that the shark might decide it wants a meal more than sparkling teeth. Let's see what we're dealing with. But first, a toast. And she orders a round of drinks and raises her cup in a toast to calmer seas. And she throws it back, not really waiting for you. Anybody
well, okay. I mean,
partaking?
Elfman will be partaking. He is always up to the challenge, especially since he's not the one paying.
Okay. Anybody else?
Well, it would be rude to refuse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Nashka kind of has to just open up her maw and like toss it right back in her throat, but she does so as well.
All right. So there will be fortitude saves, please.
Oh man, my fortitude save is my lowest one by 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kyra.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops! How did I hit it twice?
Elfman's dad was the Ulfin barbarian, so he knows how to do it.
Okay. So you all hold your liquor amicably, except for Mauricio, I assume, is the last one.
Yeah.
Who just kind of sputters embarrassingly after knocking back the drink, which is powerful, pungent, and has an aftertaste not unlike very old tar. And as Miriziel just like coughs and sputters and spits out half of it, Stella just laughs and she says, "Yeah, it's basically piss. But that's the best stuff they have in this joint."
Well, not anymore.
It's delicious.
This is a very extreme thing I've tried in my life. So, unique aftertaste, I say.
Okay, so everybody except for Miriziel, you can once during this adventure use a reaction when you're targeted by an attack roll from an enemy that you can see. And if you do so, you stumble just as the attack is made and get a +2 status bonus to your AC. So basically you just drunkenly stumble out of the way in a helpful way.
Who would have thought that being sober would be a disadvantage here?
Yeah.
But that's
And then
I suppose.
Then Stella slams the glass on the table and she says, wipes her mouth and she says, "All right, you guys better entertain me a little bit while we talk business. Okay, so let's play a game. How about here you go, here you go." And she gets you over to a line on the floor in front of a dartboard, and she says, "Okay, so which one of you wants to play me, huh? Huh? Come on, any of you. Come on, darts, knives, whatever you have."
Oh. Well, Mirisil is like gonna do a little flick with her dagger, catch it in the air.
Nice one, elf. Okay, there we go. And she throws the first dart. Give me a second. Ranged attack rolls, yeah. So she throws the first dart, and it's a well-aimed dart. It's like, I don't know, close to the triple 20 points. Rizio, you can do a ranged attack roll. 21. Nice. Okay. She scores higher than her. She then throws another one. That looks much better. It is square on the double 25, so bullseye.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Well, Mirasil is going to have to try to beat that.
Mm-mm.
And fails. Oh, wait. Sorry. And before Mauricio can throw, she says, "That's boring. This is boring. Why don't you try, huh?" And she points one of the darts at Nashka. Why don't you try this one, huh? Come on, come on.
It's basic. It's just a ranged attack roll.
Yeah, just any ranged attack roll if you with a dart, or if you have any weapon, then you can do it.
I have a short bow, but I don't think that's what we're talking about here.
No, it should be in the dart or knife group. A weapon in the dart or knife group.
Okay, she'll take the dart. I think that I need to subtract 1 from this attack roll.
Okay.
11.
And you barely hit the board.
Dart's
All
too
right.
small.
Okay, so you clearly suck. How about you, huh, guy?
Oh, yeah, I mean, I'm fast with my word and I'm fast with my spell, but I'm not so sure about my fingers. But let's try this.
And she hands you a dart and she says, "Watch out, it's heavy."
Police captain. Let's not have that one. And okay, I didn't actually add any ranged strikes to Elfman, so ranged attacks it would be, I believe, my dexterity plus my proficiency, right? Because
Assuming you're proficient with it.
are darts are martial weapons or simple weapons?
I imagine simple.
Yeah, I think so.
Me-
Daggers are simple.
Melee,
right?
Simple melee weapons, ranged weapons, javelin.
A dart is.
A simple,
Dart simple.
it's a simple weapon, so I am proficient with it. So that would be plus 6 attack.
Everyone's proficient with simple weapons, right?
I would assume so.
How would you look at that? It seems the fates are indeed favoring me today.
And yeah, as you score triple 20, she bursts out laughing and yells, "I can't believe it! You guys are hilarious! Or you can drink and you can certainly throw a dart around. Not bad, little man, not bad." Fantastic. And she's having a great time.
Man. Yeah, Nashka laughs along. Seems maybe a little confused, but it's like, hey, it's going okay.
All right. We're gonna play again. 301 down. We're gonna play again. But let's sign this thing first. All right. Let's sign this thing. Come on.
True.
And she walks you over back to her table, and she removes one of her gloves,
Well, Kira,
and she says,
contact,
"All right,
please.
give me."
Nashka's gonna do a perception check around as before we go pulling out this document in the middle of this tavern.
Kyra is like looking to Meriziel and to Elfman and kind of wondering, did we bring up any of this before?
Well, I think she's been in contact with
Yeah,
with
it
the society.
right. It's a premeditated deal.
Okay.
I suppose
But like she just saw 4 people come in and assumed that they would be with the, or maybe do we carry?
Well, she must have
Society
gotten a
I think
description.
we introduced ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, Elfman is too distinctive to just pass up, you know?
And like 4 Pathfinder agents are probably pretty easy to spot.
I mean,
you
that's
Right.
18 charisma talking here, you know?
Right.
See anything suspicious looking? Anybody eyeing us up before we go? Like,
Yeah, there's it's a pirate bar, so basically everyone is suspicious looking, but
does
it's
anyone
not like
look like they're suspiciously interested in us?
not necessarily no.
Okay.
So
No,
she
gives a
stands
nod.
there, one glove off, a knife at the ready. Come on, what you waiting for?
Yeah, Kyra, give her the paper.
All right. I guess let's do this. So, are we at like a booth or a table or something like that?
Just a table.
Well, Kyra will pull it out.
All right. Here, hand me that thing. And she takes it if you let her.
Mm-hmm. Well, we were assured that it wasn't magically sealed, so only you can read it. So.
Yeah, there's a slight glow as she effortlessly manages to roll it open, and she puts it on the table, and she says, "You know what? I didn't really want to go through with this because I thought all of you Pathfinder guys are probably just dry farts, but you are fun. So let's just keep it the way it is, all right?" And she pricks her finger with her knife and writes her name in blood on the contract.
Yes, of course.
Well, it is a magical contract, so it has to be signed in blood. It's the best way.
Okay, she says, rolls the contract back up, hands it to the PCs, to the group, and looks around suspiciously. I can tell who's watching, though. The free captains have eyes and ears everywhere.
Oh, no shit.
Best to be sure that if these lot remember anything about this night, it's not that they saw us here together.
Fair enough.
So, I bid you farewell, she says, and with that, she sweeps her hat off her head in an exaggerated bow, bids you good night, just before performing one step. Wait, sorry.
It's gonna be alright, isn't it?
As she bows, she extends a leg behind her and trips a nearby server. The server drops a plate of exquisitely prepared crab and raw fish, which lands across the faces of a nearby table of fishers, the same ones, in fact, who supplied the bounty used to prepare the dish. However, you would be able to tell that, but that's what. Enraged at the waste of food and livid with hunger, they lunge from their seats, inciting the rest of the tavern's patrons into a raucous fight. So everybody has apparently just been waiting for an opportunity like that. Like they jump up, they pull up the waiter, and they yell at him, and then somebody from another table is like, "Stop yelling at the waiter! We're waiting for food still." And then they get in a yelling match, and before you know it, there's a full-on brawl going on.
Yep, it's alright.
Oh, of course.
Nashka is trying to snatch up as much of the seafood as she can that fell on the floor. Shove it in her face.
Nice. Okay, so let me get this straight. First, I need to go to the right sub tier because we are in fact sub tier 3-4. And you should be at the bar right now, right?
Yep.
Okay.
We see it.
So we have. Oops. Oh. That's actually not too bad if you see those lines as well. Yeah, so these two guys are the ones that were sitting at the table, and they're the ones who are closest to you and who are basically picking a fight with you. While there is this whole bar erupting in a brawl. So what happens is that the fight quickly spreads across the entire building. These two people who are actually seaborn, which I think are a kind of elf, if I'm not mistaken.
Just so you know, all your dotted lines shifted.
That's okay. They didn't shift too far, I think, like that. Yep. But they shouldn't be on the token layer. There we go. So they are basically aquatic elves, and they are both pissed. They're half drunk, you can tell. and they're just itching for a fight to cap the night. Yeah, so they've picked you as their targets, it seems, and all the while, the rest of the bar is also in a huge brawl. So let's start with initiative.
Yay.
So you roll perception for initiative.
Token initiative.
I don't know why I'm doubling up on these.
Oh no, I should have. Oh, okay. This one. Oh, okay. I should modify it. And Marizio.
Right.
Whoops, sorry. Didn't mean to do that.
You spilled the first blood.
Okay. We're getting there. Okay. So, yeah. Nashka, you're the first one to react. So those guys are pushing back their chairs, cracking their knuckles, getting out their fishing knives, and they're clearly getting ready to have some fun.
Can you add Marizio to the list?
Oh. Yes. 17 is her initiative?
Yep. Thanks.
Do they look like they're spoiling for blood, or?
They're probably just looking for some nice, fun, nice, dirty Port Peril pirate trawl.
Okay. In that case, Nashka has these very long, very sharp-looking claws on her fingers, but she's gonna curl them in so that she's just going straight fists. And she's gonna move up here, with a mouthful of seafood, still gulping it down, and she's gonna try to wallop on this guy. So that's one action to move, to stride. And then let me make sure I've got this right. She has a feat from her, well, it's technically a ranger. I guess it is a feat. It's a ranger feat. That lets her.
It's flooded, right?
Yeah. Multiple attack penalty.
Well, I believe that feat is stacking damage, right? From 2 attacks.
Right. And it lets her reduce the penalty from multiple attacks. But she's going to use twin takedown, actually. So one action, 2 strikes against hunted prey. Oh, she has to hunt them. That's right. I think she can spend an action to hunt. It's a thing that I do, right?
I always forgot about that when I played Hate on the Fleet.
Yeah.
So what does it mean when she hunts?
That is such a good question that I really... sorry.
Well, it gives you +2 circumstance bonus to perception checks, on survival checks to track it, and you get to use your twin takedown on them, basically.
Okay, so it doesn't affect the combat roll, but she's just better at tracking them. And she can use her twin takedown. So she will. 1 action, 2 swings, And the first one's going to be at a -2, and the second one's going to be at a -4. Okay, here we go. I think this is all right. So that is going to have a -2 on it.
So that means that this guy is being hunted by you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
It's a 24.
That's a hit, of course.
It's a 7 points of bludgeoning. And then this one is at a -4. I don't know how to do the iterative attacks. I didn't set up a proper. Huh? Why did it give the damage on the first one? Second one's a 14.
14. It's a miss.
Oh, I see. I see what I did. Okay. And then she's just gonna try to grab him, I guess.
Okay. As her third action.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which is,
No, wait.
I think.
Wait. You strayed one action. You hunted two action. You
Oh yeah, you're right.
taken
You're right.
three
Hunting
action.
was an action, so that's all I can do.
Okay. All right. So you get a claw swipe at him.
I punch him twice,
Oh, you punch him twice.
but
You
I
hit-
missed
but
the
you
second
only hit
time.
him one. Okay, and the other guy goes, "Oh, we have a feisty one," and then he kind of makes a gurgling sound, and then summons a powerful blast of pressurized water that just comes shooting out of his hands and is directed straight at you. I don't know how to do this. Did that work? Yes, it did. So it's a 14 spell attack roll. Against what does that go? Against your AC?
Probably.
Probably.
I assume if it's an attack roll, yeah, it's against AC, which is a miss.
Okay, so you sidestep the torrential
Does Miraciel sidestep?
Does it hit Mauricio?
Attack.
Yeah.
It probably does, but not enough to like actually harm her.
It just soaks her.
yeah, it just soaks her.
Nashka ducks, the water goes flying, soaks her. Her hair's all wet. Makeup's
My
streaming down her
daggers!
face.
So that was 2 fantastic actions, and then as a third action, he draws his knife. Okay, let's have some fun. And the other guy, who Nashka's already targeting, takes out his knife, and he just goes as he tries to stab Nashka twice. Knife 1. Nope. Yes. Nope. Maybe.
Wait.
Whoa.
Critical 16 points of damage.
Really? 16?
12,
Isn't the crit
12,
damage 12? Yeah.
Yeah, 12.
Oof.
And second swing,
Misses.
18 to okay. And the other guy goes, "Oh, watch it, buddy!" As he like goes for the neck basically with his knife, and the other guy like, "I don't need a murder tonight." Mauricio, your turn.
Meriziel. I'm trying to see if there's still a thing where you can move and draw, or would that be a feat?
I think that's a fighter thing.
Just
Oh,
to be
yeah.
clear, there's no confirmation on the crit, right?
No,
Okay.
and we have to remember that plus 10 can also be a crit.
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
Well,
Is it 10 or
ooh,
5?
No, 10.
I think it's 10.
Yeah.
Critical
I
success.
actually don't have control of the Meriziel token.
Nobody controls Mauricio.
Mm.
Controlled by all.
There it is. So she is going to start moving around. over there.
Past all the people already, hitting each other in the face, smashing chairs, knocking over bottles.
And then she's going to pull out her rapier. Since daggers are involved. And attempt to do, well, not a stab, but more of a health bash. I factored in the -2 for non-lethal damage.
That's a crit.
Okay. So it has deadly. I need to check deadly if it's the roll this after doubling the weapon's damage. Okay. So it's gonna be
It's deadly non-lethal damage.
Doubled, so this plus
18, that's the total?
Yep.
Okay, nice. All right. Yeah, so just so everybody knows, the way that non-lethal damage works now is that it doesn't matter until the last
the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Right. Okay.
you can use lethal damage all the way to until there's only one left, and if the last one is non-lethal, they will be unconscious. And the other way around is also true. If you deal only non-lethal damage and the last one happens to be lethal, then they still die. Okay,
Nice.
that was Marissa's turn.
Kyra.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Kyra is going to try to defuse the situation. Well, defuse.
You can try to
Use his
defuse.
head.
You could try to defuse the fight that's going on around you.
Oh. Well, in that case, she as a diplomacy, I imagine.
You can do diplomacy or intimidation, whichever you would prefer.
Well, she's going to try diplomacy. She's going, and she has the what's it called, group impression feat, which allows her to affect 2 targets instead of just 1.
Mm-hmm. Well, but this is a crowd anyway, so I don't think that this applies here.
Okay. Well, let's see if people can be reasonable and not hurt each other, please.
25. That's on the mark. Okay, good. So basically, this entire section here, Kyra probably jumps onto the bar over here, and then raises her voice and says something like, "What would Sarenrae do?" And for whatever reason, that seems to draw people's attention, and they stop punching each other. At least in that section that you're in right now, while the rest of the bar is still going wild. Okay, so that was Kyra. Elfman.
And Elfman will try to defuse this situation in his own way by using his mighty spells. He will target this one here, and he will tell a very raunchy joke at him that I can't seem to pull out from right away. So, but it will be very funny. So I will ask for a will save.
That was this one?
Yes, the healthy one.
Will save, you say.
Does that will DC look a little bit low?
I don't think it matters now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to.
So it is a critical success, unaffected.
I see. No, apparently I should have actually came up with a joke for the spell to work.
I guess so. Was that 2 actions?
Yes, that was 2 actions, and yeah, I think it's about time for Elfman to cast a shield on himself.
Okay. That's just 1 action?
Yes, casting shield is just verbal.
Okay. So the bar fight, in your immediate surrounding has sort of calmed down enough. People are dusting each other off, picking themselves off the floor, and looking a little bit sheepish, while in the rest of the bar it's still going strong. And you can see that even innocent bystanders are kind of getting their fill as they get caught in the crossfire, so to speak. Let me see if they can do something. Yeah. And in this section over here, somebody knocks over, or is knocked over and pushed into a cask that then ruptures and causes a thick, gooey, oozy liquid to spill out and into these squares, essentially making them greasy, the floor in those squares. So what that means is following. Of course, it is slippery, but you already know that. Each creature standing on the greasy surface must succeed a reflex save or an acrobatics check against the spell DC, which in this case is not mentioned. No, there it is. Yeah. Okay. So both the elf and Nashka need to do a reflex save.
I think the elf is done, isn't he? Or no, he's got a little left in him.
And great. The elf falls down, and Nashka is fine. So using creatures using an action to move onto the greasy surface during this spell duration must attempt to save 2. Creature that steps or crawls doesn't have to attempt to check. Okay, so the elf falls prone. Nashka is fine. Nashka, your turn.
Nashka feels up to the gash in her like very broad neck and comes away red. And she looks at this elf laying on the ground and says, "Wonder if you bleed red too, Seaborn." And goes at him with her claws. She's just gonna make this a regular old attack, not a twin takedown.
Okay. That's a hit for 6 points of damage, which is enough to bring the creature down. Bleeding profusely, lying on the floor.
And then realizing that she's standing in this puddle, she's going to, I guess, would a move action allow her to climb up on the table here?
Sure.
Yeah, she's gonna do that. Does she need to make another check?
Nope.
Okay.
Because it's just on the floor.
Right. She hops up on the table, kicks some of the bottles and tankards out of the way, and then hunts this elf in front of her as her final action.
Oh, that one is target now. Okay. And he looks up at Nashka on the table, takes a step as an action.
I believe is a step movement or a move action?
It's an action. It's not a move. It's a step.
It's not a move.
Oh, it's not a stride. It's a step. There's no move action.
Yeah, let me see. I have an ability.
Mm-hmm.
Your hunted prey is within reach, and it uses a manipulate action, uses a move action I have written, which doesn't seem to make sense, or leaves a square during a move action it's using. That should be stride, I assume. So I guess let me find the original rules on it real quick. Sorry.
No, move is a trait. So step has the move trait.
All right, then she's gonna take a reactionary swipe at him.
Unlike most types of movement, stepping doesn't trigger reactions, such as attacks of opportunity that can be triggered by move actions.
Huh.
I mean,
what is the ability called again?
it's called disrupt prey. It's not an attack of opportunity.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that it applies.
And I do have to be hunting them to use it.
Yeah, exactly. That's the whole point of that ability, is that you can attack when usually you wouldn't.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
claws out.
Claws
He tries
out.
to step back, and she just lunges at him. 20.
Is a hit.
Only 5 points of slashing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but definitely causes some gashes, and then another hydraulic push attempt. 15 to hit is not a hit, I assume.
No.
So again, it just shoots past you, and washes over the crowd in the back. Meriziel, your turn.
Meriziel is going to move and continue trying to punch with the hilt of her rapier. Twice.
15 is a miss. Oh no, there it is. 12 is a miss, but the 23 is a crit.
Okay. So
It's
it's
on fire. 13 points of damage. Brutal stab. Kyra is probably not very pleased to see Meriziel so gleefully causing violence.
she's actually punching, not stabbing.
Oh, I thought you were using your rapier.
But
So-
like non-lethal punching with the hilt.
Oh, I see. Still, yeah, you can hear the crack of the elf's jaw from 10 feet away. Maybe not lethal, but definitely painful.
Yeah. So the fighting stopped around here, but it's
Yes.
still continuing in all the other.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Well, Kyra is going to climb over here, and she's going to address. I imagine this section is closer, right?
Yeah.
And she's going to say that, have you no shame? Should people die just for entertainment?
All right, and another diplomacy, I guess. 22. And she just gets a cheer as everybody is on the same side of this.
Mm-hmm.
Which is yes.
We have no shame.
Yes, they do not. That was an action.
Well, that leaves her with just one action left. Does she have? Nope. That'll be it.
Okay.
Oh wait. She's going to move over here.
Okay.
Alright.
Elfman.
I suppose it would be about time to engage in a rough physical violence. So Elfman will stride here. He will try to smack this guy over the head with his staff,
Mm-hmm.
non-lethally. Yeah, that's probably not. And if I still have an action,
Yeah, it's a miss, of course.
he will try to take a page from Kyra's book and try to pacify the rest of the crowd, but he will use deception to do so. Well, with taking the clumsy swing, he will make a panicked face and scream at top of his lungs, "Oh my God! Hell Knights are coming!"
Okay. And it just causes a few chuckles in the crowd as if there were any Hell Knights in Port Peril.
I mean, it was worth a try.
Yeah, sure. Okay, and one person in particular thought that was so funny that they let their guard down for a second and then kind of get shoved and flies in your face, Elfman. In the general mayhem, take 19 points of damage
Holy crap.
Almost.
as that person
Wait.
crashes into you.
No, wait.
Is it a crit? It is a crit.
26
So you
is a
take
crit,
26 points of damage.
Yes.
Because that person was holding a smashed bottle, so they fall into you, hitting you in the head and also cutting you with the bottle inadvertently. We will remember 18 and 26 because I'm supposed to just roll the attack several times, but not the damage. Because Mirasil attack 21.
Merisil will use her reaction to gain an extra 2 AC, I believe.
Okay, so
wait. Can she do that? I mean, she didn't drink, right? Or it's
she's
No,
yeah,
she has
has
the
made it
robe.
out. Oh, the rogue.
I'm trying to make sure that she does have that.
Some sort of dodgy thing.
Because every class gets their reaction, and I'm pretty sure that rogues get. What was it called? Nimble dodge or something like that.
yeah, that does sound right. But +2 seems like a lot. But at 4th level, I don't know. Nimble dodge is a reaction, targets you. You deftly dodge, gaining a +2 to AC. So if you have that, then that's fine.
Let me. Is it?
Should be on the sheet. It is called nimble dodge.
It is not on the sheet. Well, I guess she doesn't have that.
Okay. So
So that does hit.
so that will be, well, I guess half of the critical damage, so 13. And Nashka.
Trying to look for. Is there a specific action to like shove?
Shove.
Yeah. I'm trying to find it, if it exists.
There is a shove. You can, but that's a weapon trade. And there is an action called shove. You push an opponent away from you. Attempt an athletics check against your opponent's 42 DC.
Does it just push them back, or does it knock them down?
It is you push your opponent up to 10 feet away.
I think trip is still a thing. If you want.
I would have to make a trip.
Yeah.
Okay. I have no idea how hard that'll be, but I'm gonna attempt
go
that.
for it. Yeah.
She leaps off of the table, and she's trying to like pounce on him. But we're gonna make a trip attack to try and knock him down. So leaping is one action.
Okay.
The trip action. Where can I find that?
You try to knock an opponent to the ground. Attempt an athletics check.
Okay.
18, and that is now against his reflex DC, which is 16 because it's his reflex modifier plus 10, I believe. So
If you
it
say
is.
so.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah.
And that's the success, not a critical, but a success. So the target falls and lands prone. If it had
Okay.
been a critical success, he would have also taken the d6 damage.
Okay. She's going to, I guess, use her last action to, she's just gonna grab him.
That's another action.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. And
Yeah.
grapple.
Yeah, I think there's grab as an action. So Trip has the attack trait, which means that the next action, which is also an attack, has the minus the multiple attack penalty.
Okay, which puts it at a minus
5 normally, unless you have.
I mean, aren't I technically doing all of this with the
Right,
like,
so it's minus
light
4.
weapons or
Yeah.
agile or whatever it is?
You're right, so it will be minus 4.
Okay, he is
So-
prone, so I don't know what boost that gives me, if any.
Well, you definitely get. You do another athletics check while I figure out what the prone condition does in this case.
Yeah, we'll see if this even makes a difference. Minus 4. That's a 12. I don't think prone's going to affect his reflex save.
No.
Probably should, but
You are flat-footed, and flat-footed take minus 2 to AC, but doesn't do anything about the reflex DC. Yeah, that's a little bit weird. I guess it's a victim of the streamlining. Okay, but you rolled too low anyway.
yeah.
So,
Trying to.
then it's the elf's turn. And apparently it's a very dumb pirate. So they've gone now.
She's trying to grab him and he's squirming away and she just says, "You
Yeah.
better not get out of here. Better stay down."
They say, and they try to crawl. Let's see how that works now.
Yeah, she'll take her reaction to take a swing at him.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a move type of action, so go ahead.
Ooh, 13. And I believe does it also receive the minus?
No, I don't think
okay.
that applies to reactions.
All right, it's just a 13.
13 is a miss, though, even with the flat-footed penalty. So it crawls 5 feet as one action, and then they get up as a second action.
Merciel doesn't have like an attack of opportunity or
No.
anything, does she? Okay.
And then they try to sucker punch Elfman.
Ooh.
So, or sucker stab, I should say. Oops, that was just the item. 12.
Thankfully, no.
And then it's Meriziel's turn.
And she's gonna keep punching.
She's gonna keep knocking lights out. It's not a crit, however, but...
Oh, well, just 7 damage then. And the second one is a miss.
Mm-hmm.
And for the last action, she's going to...
Did you, Sam, did you roll twice for the critical damage?
Yeah, that was double, so just count 7.
Yeah, but that's not how it works anymore. Now you actually multiply by 2 when you do crit damage.
Oh,
Yeah. But that's fine.
okay.
Third action was a step, right?
Yep.
Okay. Kyra?
Kyra is going to target Elfman with a heal spell.
Yay.
At a distance?
With the 2-action version, which is 30 feet and would heal.
I really like that mechanic from 2E.
Yeah, giving you the choice of how to modulate it.
Nice. 34 hit points. That makes him almost pop. So you have 1 action left, I believe.
Does she see any use in trying to convince these people?
They might listen. The other ones did.
Well, it wouldn't hurt to try again.
Yeah, you just didn't hit the right notes before, I guess. And especially seeing Nashka just rip through those Seaborn definitely has an impact on them. And quite a few of them remember that they have very urgent business elsewhere. So the fight dies down in that section. Elfman.
Alright. I'm not muted. Okay. Elfman,
Nope.
seeing this unfold, he will try to whack this guy again with his staff non-lethally before scurrying away and trying to copy Kyra again. But first, let's try to smack him. With if it is non-lethally, then it would be 20, right?
Yep.
Okay, that's a hit. 7 points of damage is enough to knock him out.
Yay! Serves you right. The ruler?
And lights out. Okay, so the bar fight is still going strong in most of the bar, however. Do you intend to get involved, or do you just gonna sneak out?
Elfman wants to try a thing, so he will crawl through closer to another section and try to address this one and clearing his throat. And in with clear voice, set with training, say, "Citizens of Last Catch, think of what Bismara would think of you." Somebody, and well, try to instill like something of by somebody. You're not drunk enough. Some drink more and fight then.
Okay, diplomacy.
Okay, I think they are drunk enough.
Yeah, they are definitely drunk enough, and one of them actually listens and tries to down his tankard, but somebody else just smashes it in his face.
Well, our deal here is done, I suppose. Let's go.
So yeah, again, does anybody intend to get involved, or are you gonna sneak out?
I don't see any. We were told to keep our profiles low, so we're already made a little bit of a mess. But I don't think there's any need to go parading around the bar.
Well, would Kyra try to do more? I think she would.
But it does seem like people are enjoying themselves doing this.
I think she would try like one last sermon before leaving.
Come on, Kyra, it's all in good fun, says Nashka with blood dripping from her claws.
Yeah, the guy next to Kyra is actually bleeding out.
Yeah.
She's going to give it one last shot.
Nice.
Yeah, these guys won't listen.
Well,
and
she
you also see that the guy is actually not bleeding out. He's stable.
Oh, did he pass some sort of check?
Well,
yes, sure, he did.
He already bled
Okay.
out. Yes.
Okay.
He was saved by a sidebar.
Okay.
Okay. You can bleed out when all blood already outside, right?
If we want to leave this bar, do we have to like fight our way through and risk getting hit more?
You would have to push through the crowd, and if you
And-
can't make it in one round, then you would be at risk. Yeah.
In that case, Kyra, sorry, not Kyra, Nashka, seeing the chaos between her and the door, is just gonna make for the water here and dive in.
All right.
Wait, what about us?
And how are the others gonna get out?
Where is the exit? We have specified at least 2 sections of the bar.
Splash.
I think this is supposed to be the exit here, so that would be 60 feet away from you.
Oh, I thought it was those stone stairs to the north, or is that something we're not supposed to see?
No, that's okay for you to see, but I think it said there was supposed to be a long pier that ends in this.
Oh yeah. You're right. That wouldn't make any sense. There's a boat down there near the
Yeah.
entrance. So
Yeah. But I think
Alright.
that this pier is supposed to go further because this looks like an entrance.
Do we know what exactly people may be? Although I think ghost sound. What? How many actions? 2. I think 2 actions, right?
Probably.
Spells. Elfman will try to just run past everything. Really, he's healthy now. Spells are too take too much time. That's 1 stride, and that would be 2nd stride.
All right. So you've run out as fast as you can. Bar fight is still going strong. So the seawater from Nashka's dive splashes onto the floor over here, making some of the floorboards slippery as Nashka swims towards the shore. The Seaborn is, of course, knocked out. Mauricio?
Risil and Kyra are going to follow after Elfman.
Okay, making a run for it too.
Mm-hmm.
Can you make it in one go? Kyra can, I
yeah,
guess.
she can with 3
Well, no,
movements.
yeah, but she has. Oh, right, 3 movements.
Yeah, and Marizil has 30.
Yeah, you can both make it. Okay, so you make it out of the bar as the brawl still lighting up the place. Laughter, sounds of bottles getting smashed and chairs break, mingling with the pained screams of those whose fun is probably coming to an abrupt end. But you are clear, or in the clear, and it's pretty certain that Fane's objective of making this a night to remember for most of the patrons is working out. You make your way back to Halar's boat with the contract in hand. And the old diver is a little upset that she has to row you back out so soon after just arriving in town, but she agrees it's probably best to leave after you getting involved in that brawl over there. She navigates you back to the sandbar where she originally picked you up. Leaves you with some dried squid and a jar of fresh water. And a whole day later, another commissioned ship travels by and offers to transport you to Absalom. Finally there, you present Stella Fane's contract to venture captain Ambrose Volson, notifying him that she's agreed to aid the society with passage through the blockade and that the way to Vidrian is open. In gratitude for your service, Volson presents you with an archaic wayfinder.
Ooh.
End of quest.
Yay.
Archaic Wayfinder. Compact. The way is it? Archaic Wayfinder functions as a compass and acts as a repository for 1 cantrip cast into it. To fill an Archaic Wayfinder, a spellcaster casts the chosen cantrip into the empty device, providing any necessary cost. The spell cannot be one that is normally cast as free action. Activating an archaic wayfinder is the same as the casting for the relevant spell. Once it has been activated, it becomes empty. Hold an Aeon Stone and activate its relevant power. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. Okay. So you can cast a... Wow, great. That's a fantastic feature. But it's an uncommon item, so... There you go.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
It does. That is a nice, smooth system.
It is, right?
Aside from puzzling through some of the rulings, how they.
Yeah, I mean, but we looked up, or we did pretty much everything by the book, and we didn't need a flowchart once.
Well, yeah.
Right.
And when we played Escaping the Grave, it went more or less the same. Although, in my case, players were a bit weirded out by every conceivable action taking a 10-minute interval, at very least. So, but that's a scenario, I guess.
Yeah, that's the scenario. Oh yeah. I played that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, that's you kind of have to make it work when you're running it. You have to, and it's just on average 10 minutes, I guess. But the scenario the society scenarios always have even more suspension of disbelief than actual adventures because they have all these mini mechanics. All right, that was fun.
Oh yeah.
He was.